Yes, 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 yes. This is Nicholas Tannick. This is Nicholas Tannick, and I am here with an absolute magnificent person in the kink community from Hertfordshire, from the UK. We're going to talk about medical fetish. We're going to talk about a lot of things: content creation, medical fetish, and everything in between. But I must say that everything we talk about is between consenting adults. We're adults. This is a lifestyle. We're adults. We don't break any laws. We're going through our days. We pay taxes. We do everything. Do right in this crazy, crazy world. Please, please, please don't judge. There's a loneliness epidemic in this country. It's all because of your loneliness and your judgy behavior. This is your Kinky friends. Kinky. It is good to be here. It is so good to be here. It is Sunday, and everybody, we are here with the wonderful, the delightful Alex Keeper, all the way from the UK. We're going to talk about the UK producing content, but most of all, this is for you, Stan. We're going to talk about the medical fetish. So let's just break into it. Everybody can get 15% off all inventory. Locked and Lost with offer code YKF. Please support the show. Go to yourkinkyfriends.com. Support us with Cash App, $YKF, all caps, all lowercase Tannic, YKF Tannic, and also patreon.com/YKF. Every episode could be the last, everybody. It's just the way it is. Please, we need mics. We need money for servers. We need storage. We need everything. Please support us. But let's get on with the show. We're here with Alex Keeper. Alex. I want to shout out to Mistress Sophie. Mistress Sophie. All of this up. Mistress Sophie is amazing. I love Mistress Sophie. So, Alex, what's inspiring you these days?
Oh, what's inspiring me these days? Okay. Big movement I'm feeling around MPreg at the moment has been massively inspirational to me. Anyone who's been following on my medical ASMR channels would see I've got a bit of a penchant for creating some medical kind of content that's set probably in a utopian or dystopian kind of future. But yeah, lots of male pregnancy, and actually something very exciting coming up soon is a alien male pregnancy.
Alien male pregnancy. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one.
No, just thought I'd throw that out for you to just completely throw you out. I'm going with a whole video on the pregnancy, the insemination. Like, for my insemination lovers out there, you'll be wetting yourself for this one, let me tell you.
Insemination lovers. All right, let's just get into that. Why do men want to get impregnated by aliens?
You know what? I think it really leans into the same as sissification. I think there's a desire to feel the feminine in them and explore that, the softness. The impregnation bit is a complex one. I'm not sure I have all the full answers yet. But yeah, it's a feeling of something growing, of producing, of being part of something bigger than yourself, probably.
As a woman who can give birth, how do you feel about these men coming in and kind of taking up your thing?
So this is a very interesting question. When I very first got asked to do something in this style, I declined it because as a woman, and I've had a child, and I had a very difficult a very, very difficult birth. And it made me feel a little uncomfortable to begin with. I was a bit like, I don't know if I can share this. I don't know if it's quite triggering for me. But the nice thing is, the more I've explored it, I'd call it more of a therapy for me. It's actually been really therapeutic, going through some of the things that I actually struggled with. So yeah, I don't think that they're taking up the space. I think they're exploring something. And if it makes people feel good, I am all about anything that makes you feel good. If it brings you some joy, why not?
So when you're dealing with alien impregnation, right? Just curious, do you deal with the other realistic aspects of pregnancy, like cravings,
Yeah,
back problems,
yeah, yeah,
hormonal issues, stuff like that? How do you
yeah.
deal with alien pregnancy? How do you deal with all that with the alien impregnation narrative?
Yeah, so I actually did a collaboration on the alien impregnation, and it was really amazing working with somebody who has a really good, interesting background in fertility. And so, yeah, we did a lot of work on the vitamins you should be taking, on natural gestation periods, but obviously with an alien pregnancy, we're going to change that up. So we changed up all the periods of time. Um, I'm actually going to confess something in this that I didn't know if I would.
All
I
right.
actually used my own belly for a lot of the footage in this video that's going to be coming out. Now, I had to consume about 5 pints of liters even of liquid. Um, I was busting for a pee the whole time. I had every bit of air I could push into my stomach to really extend it to get the shape that was needed. And then even have it moving in a position where it looked like an alien was trying to break out of me. So, I mean,
Wow.
I'm going to say I do go some for my art.
Yes, that's commitment, right? That's commitment. What did you drink? What was the liquid that you drank?
Just water. I just literally
Just
liters and
water.
liters of water so that I was like as full as I could possibly be. It was so uncomfortable. I can't even express to you.
Hmm. All right, we didn't even start yet with the questions. Let's talk about the UK. Okay. 3 words.
Okay.
How would you describe the kink community in the UK in Hertfordshire?
Okay. In the UK. So it's very diverse. I guess diverse is a great word. So really,
Yes.
really diverse. Yeah. Not as open as I would like it to be, but I think we're all moving towards a more open environment for everyone to feel safe in. And progressive, I guess. I think we're quite progressive.
That's inspiring. I love hearing that. All right, let's talk about your production company. Alex Keeper Productions specializes in custom kink videos, and you have
Yeah.
a signature glove love. You have a love for gloves, and you have
Love, love.
your site back up. Yes, you have signature and medical themes. So, can you
I bought some
walk us
gloves
through
in
like?
today. Look at this. I was
Oh,
like, I can't
yes.
come on here without bringing you some glove love. So I even bought some glove love involved. Look, give you a bit of the sounding. That'll just send everyone crazy.
Thank you for the glove love. Thank you very much for the glove love. All right, so can you walk us through a scene, right, of basically turning a client's fantasy into a polished production? What's the first step?
Absolutely. So first step for me is always script writing. So obviously, once I've had several conversations with whoever my subscriber is, we're going to talk about in depth what their needs are, what do they love. And I always actually ask, where did their kink develop from? Because I think that's really important to making sure that a custom video feels really authentic. I want to know what their first trigger was, because often it's nice to add that into a video if I can, if it's possible. So script writing would be first. That usually takes a good, I don't know, a week, just depending on what the subjects are. And then for me, it's all about set lighting, just getting it really nice. I also always ask my subs to describe to me the kind of uniform that they would love to see. What would be their ideal uniform? And I've got a big catalog now, massive catalog. So we go through that, making sure that the uniform is just what they were hoping for. And then it's just filming for me, and filming can take quite a long time because I'm quite a perfectionist. So I do like to have B-roll. I like to have lots of scenes, so it's interesting. It's very tempting to just sit in front of a camera like this, but I just don't feel like I'm giving value when I do that. I just love it to feel immersive. So yeah, that would be my system.
And then the editing process, a lot of people don't realize how much time and effort and energy goes into the editing process. How much time does it take you? And do you enjoy what you use?
I do enjoy the editing, actually. I edit every single night. So part of my daily routine is editing every night. I've literally never not got a backlog of content that needs editing. I use CapCut because I think it's really user friendly. I'm not that tech savvy, so it's amazing. It's very easy to use, lots of lovely effects that you can add in. And you are absolutely right, Nicholas. Nobody has any idea on the editing. So often when I get asked for a custom, I will give usually between 5 to 10 days for that, because it takes me often 4 or 5 days to do the editing. And I often get a response of, oh, can I not have it quicker? No, is the simple answer. Absolutely no, you cannot. No, it's not possible. Well, you can, but it will not be polished and it won't be interesting and the sound will be terrible. So yeah, the choice is yours.
Now, making all this, the writer, as a podcaster, I love the whole process of not only doing it, but the after effect, the reward. And it's not just money.
Yeah.
It's, it's something deeper. So for you, what's the most rewarding part of this whole creative pipeline?
Oh, 100%. And I get quite nervous every single time. It never stops, by the way. Once I've sent out the person's custom and I'm waiting on a response, like if there's no response, it's the most horrifying thing in the world, which it never is. There's always a response. But
like, what the
for me, yeah, exactly. I think just like you, I love what I do. I love it with so much passion. And I want for the person who's ordered that custom to have all of their dreams come true in that moment. So it's the moment after I've sent it is the moment I get the butterflies, because I start thinking, God, I hope this is right. And they love it. And, it brings them all the joy that they've asked for.
The sign of a true artist. Sign of a true artist. All right. As you know, I've told you this before, I had a liver transplant. So the medical fetish has I have a whole new appreciation for it. Now you tailor dominant nurse scenes. You can go a million ways with this. You could, just the dominant nursing. You could be extremely cruel. You could be mean. You could be cold. You could be loving and dominant. You could be caring and dominant. You could be dismal a million ways. How is it done with you? How do you tailor a dominant nurse scene? What's your approach?
Okay, so every time a new sub comes to me, we do have several FaceTime conversations, and I always make it very clear, and I hope that it comes across probably here as well. I would market myself as a tender dom. So saying I'm tender, I'm not strict, I'm really strict, but I do have a tenderness to it. The medical fetish particularly has, if you're not caring, if you don't have a love for what you do and you're not willing to take care of the sub that comes to you, then it's not going to be a field for you. You've got to be a naturally tender person, I think. And some of the other wonderful mistresses that I've met that are within that field have that same philosophy. There needs to be a tenderness and a caring. So for me, it's all about, I know it's really interesting because people sometimes say to me, oh, do you really get off on it? Is it your kink? No, of course not. Every scenario I run is my kink, because I'm running something to make the other person feel happy. That's the reality of it. It needs to fit their criteria and make them feel good. So yeah, it's a very, very personalized business, very personalized. I take a great deal of time over making sure that my subs have told me everything they possibly can. And I have made sure that they feel completely safe. Safe is a really important word in this particular kink, because when it comes to people's health, um, or even just the fantasy of it, it can be really triggering and quite worrying at times. So it's really important to be mindful of how this is impacting somebody.
It's wild because I've been in and out of the hospital for like years, and there are certain things that trigger me that I never thought I'd be triggered. You know, just like lying in the hospital waiting for a nurse to do something, and that whole day, that whole mood is set by how good or bad the nurse is, right?
100%.
So
Yep.
so it could be something like they would say all the time, saying a style, the way they would say something, a vocal tone that could be very, very triggering. How do you straight up just ask what are the triggers, or are there ways to find those triggers that could like really take a session? Because a session could go bad really quick if someone is triggered, by
Yeah,
something that you don't know
100%.
about.
So, yeah, 100%. So, one of my questions when I am prepping somebody for it are, what are your triggers? Are there things that you find uncomfortable? Obviously, those things are actually learned before I learn all the good stuff. Usually, I'm like, what's the bad stuff for you? Tell me exactly what's bad and what you don't like. Let's just get that out the way. Um, I would also like, so I think I've said the psychology of everything I do fascinates me. I love it. I am over time working towards putting maybe a book together or something about the psychology of what I come up against. What is
Oh,
very
definitely.
interesting to me, yeah, what I find the most interesting is that there's a common theme, a storyline that runs through almost 90% of my subs will tell me a similar tale. Either when they were very young, they experienced a very traumatic medical experience, or they've been in some form of long-term medical care and they've had to be around nurses. And the story that goes with all of them is, for many of them, they've just never been cared for with such love as what they found in the hospital. So in that moment of vulnerability, when someone was being
Ah,
so kind to them, it became their trigger. It became their trigger point that was like, oh my God, I need that with a naughty side to get me off. So I think that's amazing and fascinating.
they were never cared for with as much love as they were in the hospital. Um,
Mm,
that is fascinating. I get that now because it's weird because when you're in the hospital, even though your life may be falling apart and maybe feel like you're dying, there a good hospital, there's a sense of we're taking care of you. And that
yes.
feeling of comfort, it gives you
Yes.
hope and
Yeah.
feel. All right,
Yeah.
Stan Vladimir. Shout out to Stan Vladimir. He does all the artwork. He asks, "What made you fall in love with medical play?"
Oh, so okay, Stan, I am going to give you my very first experience that triggered me sexually, and then that will lean into why I went into it. So, um, as a younger woman, I had a gynecological checkup, as we do, a pap test, I guess we call it, um, with I, I think it was a male doctor. So, what's interesting is I can't even remember whether it was a male or female. I think it was a male doctor. And it was the first, when he put his gloves on, something just started in my stomach. There were like butterflies, and I couldn't quite work that
Sound.
out. Yeah. And then,
The
of course,
sound. You
because
hear
he
that
then did
sound?
the sound of it, the sound, the smell, sometimes that
Oh
latex
yeah,
powder that gets
yeah,
everywhere. Oh, I mean, even to this day,
yeah,
still does the
yeah.
same to me, still gives me butterflies. Um, and so that was my first experience of it. And then at a later stage, when I went into this field, it was a very organic thing that happened with the medical, very organic. I think I probably began my journey more on the dominant female kind of line. I did realize quite quickly that it's just a saturated market and perhaps I needed to niche down. And then I didn't really need to do anything. It really naturally happened for me. I think I put 2 ASMR videos out on YouTube that were medical based, and my inbox just blew up. And I suddenly went, oh, what is this? And there it was. This is very English of me, by the way. I have tea here, sorry.
Yes, I love tea. What kind of tea are you drinking?
I am drinking English breakfast tea, so traditional English tea in my witch's mug.
And here is your YouTube channel. We have another question about medical play. Stan Vladimir asks, "What's your favorite narrative when it comes to medical play? The naughty nurse, the dominant doctor, and so on."
Okay. My favorite role play is definitely the evil nurse, because it has that amazing juxtaposition where I can usually start sweet and loving and innocent and all of what we talked about, lull you into that safe and warm place. And then I've got you, and I can do absolutely anything. I can press the buttons to make you feel uncomfortable, comfortable, ready to take what I'm going to, terrified. I love it. I love. So evil nurse is my favorite role play to play.
Evil nurse. All right, that's awesome. Okay. Have you had any wild custom ideas that really push the production values, the boundaries of production?
So I think one of the ones that I did recently as a series, actually. No, oh no, now you're saying that. I'm thinking of loads. I had an amazing, so this is a private video that you can buy, but it's not on YouTube or anything. I have a whole collection called the M-Sex Clinic. You actually posted a picture from it earlier. That was a medical chastity series, and the sub that wanted this done was amazing. He had the most incredible ideas, really detailed, took the storyline in a fantastic way. It was about a time and a place where all men by law should be put into chastity. And as the time went on, the law changed and it got harder and harder on men. Punishments were put into place if men were not turning up at work on time, getting good grades at college. There were punishments within chastity. It was such a fantastic series to make. And that one really pushed me. I had to get super creative with that.
Well, if it's any consolation, I'm in chastity right now. I got garter belts and stockings, pink ones too, believe it or not, underneath
I
this whole
love
suit and
it.
tie. All right, running
I
running
love
this
that.
fetish focus, running this fetish focused production house, right? That means juggling. You're juggling sets. You're juggling props. You're trying to find the perfect lighting and stuff like that. So, what
Oh my
production
God.
hurdle did you overcome specifically for the medical fetish or ASMR? What production hurdle have you overcome that like stands out in your mind?
I can tell you the biggest one I overcome recently.
Please, yeah,
It's very silly, but it's because we're talking about production. It is production.
yeah,
So
yeah, totally.
I was struggling for a long time because exactly what you just said. I have so many props. I can't even begin to tell you. I have boxes of medical material. I have. I mean,
Very
it's
impressive.
relentless. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then the uniforms alone, I mean, there's hundreds of them. So I was struggling with managing where all of these things were going to go, being able to find them when I needed them. So I actually created like a false wall in my living room that is curtained off. And then behind this false wall is just shelving after shelving up. Like it's just an entire wall of shelving and wardrobes and everything you would need. And so the curtain that runs over the front now has become my backdrop, but I can also hang my new backdrops from it. So it means that I've got a really lovely place to change sets up really easily and also hide all of the medical equipment from everyone that comes in my living room.
That is incredible. Production value. That's production value. Totally. All right, you've built a captivating world. Love. Your sexy loves. What was your first experience or moment that sparked your passion for you? I mean, you talked about that with the doctor,
Yeah.
So
Well,
let's talk more about the allure of gloves in play.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Um,
I think I expressed to you what was my first kink experience with gloves. So that was my first
mhm.
trigger, my first understanding that that was interesting to me, that I like the idea that somebody might wear the gloves for me. What I also took from that is something that I'm very aware of when I go forward with my subs. I wasn't sure how to take that forward in my personal life, to ask somebody like a new partner to kind of bring it up, you know, oh, would you put medical gloves on? Not everyone's going to find that sexy. Um, then I also realized, and I'll bring these in to show you, I also realized that when winter came, because it's always cold in England, it's cold like 90% of the year, that I
Mhm.
really enjoyed wearing leather gloves. And I wasn't quite sure
Okay,
originally
nice.
why. Yeah, I was like, why would I enjoy this so much? But the feel, that's the bit I love. The leather glove kind of feel to it. Um, they reminded me as well, as a young woman, I was always very turned on by the sort of kidnapping role play scenario, or you know, the idea of kidnappers wore leather gloves. They always do, don't they? Kidnappers and pirates, leather gloves, very
Well, yeah,
sexy.
well, villains, usually
Yeah, villains in as
spies,
a general rule. And
villains,
yeah,
spies.
so I realized very quickly that I found this attractive. I'm gonna point this note out. I think, don't know if this is a good or a terrible thing. As a general rule, I'm a very sensory person. So
Mhm.
everything that I tend to work with, I think about how sensory that is and how that would make somebody else feel. So if I like the feel of it on my skin, if I don't like the feel of it on my skin, they're the things that I think are really intriguing. I think we're all about just the way we're touched, the way we're seen, the way we're spoken to. And so it leans into the gloves. The gloves were the first trigger for me. The gloves were the thing that made me realize, wow, just something I could put on my hand could completely change the way I feel and the way I make somebody else feel. That's powerful, just in a glove.
What are some unexpected uses for gloves? And before you answer, for example, the sissification narrative. When I see, I know if a dom ever has to touch a sissy, sometimes they only wear gloves.
Mm,
Just for the effect of the fact that it's like my naked hand is not touching you or something like that.
yeah.
Gloves are for spanking. What are some gloves, like non-typical play that you could do with gloves?
Non-typical play that you can do with gloves. Okay. Well, I mean, there's the obvious cleaning. I get a lot of rubber glove requests as well because of the whole glove love thing. I have a plethora of everything. So there's a lot around wet, sloppy, soapy gloves is a very
Yeah.
attractive thing. It really is. So that's quite a good one. It's not typical, you know, you're doing your washing up. I mean, that leans into as well, mummy, lovely bit of mummy kink there. You're doing your washing up, you've got your rubber gloves on. I'm trying to think of what other uses. I know also, it's interesting you said about the sissification. I did a couple of videos on it actually, how wearing very pretty vintage gloves as a sissy, not necessarily as the dom, is a lovely
Mm.
way of making of losing that masculinity through the hands. It can really
Oh
prettify you.
yes, like the white gloves, the
Yeah, the
little
white
dainty.
lacy little gloves completely changes the
Mm.
way I've noticed sissies move their hands. It's a nice thing.
So gloves also play a key role in ASMR. What is it about the
Mm.
texture, sensation, and the power dynamic of a glove that makes the ASMR so intoxicating?
Yeah, I mean, the gloves have been my bread and butter, let's be honest. I had no idea before I started ASMR how triggering the sound of gloves are. And so we're talking your latex, nitrile, they all have different sounds, whether it's a buttery latex sound, whether it's a crisp crinkle, whether it is the squeak of leather. I mean, sorry, even I get hot thinking about the squeak of leather. Um,
Yeah.
they're really emotive, right? They're things that especially leather gloves. Leather gloves are an easy one, not necessarily because of the glove, but because most of us at some stage in our life have had a leather jacket of sorts. We were either teenagers and we had a really cool bomber jacket, or we're bikers, or we've had a leather jacket. We've had something leather. And that squeak, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. It's just, again, quite comforting, right? Leather is comforting.
It is. Very much so. Gloves. Back to gloves. I have to ask this. What is your absolute favorite pair of gloves? Who makes it? Where'd you get it?
Okay, absolute favorite pair. So I bought both of them in because I just knew you were going to ask this. I was like, if we're talking gloves, someone's going to ask me. So my absolute favorite, and I've bought you both in. So
Thank you.
I was messing around with these. So look, these are very pretty. These are not my favorite. These are just a very beautiful pair of leather gloves that I was gifted recently. But my favorite leather gloves are these old, raggedy, squeaky gloves that I've got right here. They are classic driving gloves. They make the most beautiful sound ever. They're buttery, they're warm. These are my favorite leather gloves. And these are my favorite latex gloves. So these are, this is so boring because these are the most classic that you could get probably. These are a slightly powdered latex glove. I'm going to put these on for you. They've got the very, very high latex in them, so they're really squeaky when you put them on. If I do that, you'll be able to tell. So these are my favorite when it comes to latex gloves. They're just a classic cream, slightly powdered latex.
Thank you very, very much. I'm sure you said that this is so boring. I'm sure there's a bunch of people right now watching it and thinking that is not boring at all.
Let's just rewind that bit. Rewind.
So creating erotic ASMR tales. For somebody who loves stories and loves storytelling, if I was going to create ASMR tales, what advice would you give me?
Okay. Well, one, good microphone. Really good microphone. That's your obvious. That's your first thing that you need to think about when it comes to this. More so even than, any cameras or anything like that. It's going to be all about sound. I probably didn't realize that in the beginning. I thought that the storytelling was the interesting bit, but it's not. If you're going to do ASMR, you want people to listen with headphones. You want them to feel like you are in their brain. So that would be my first advice. Great microphone. Secondly, playing with things that make really interesting sounds is probably a great thing to do, and not what you would expect. So a lot of my sound effects are not necessarily what they sound like, if that doesn't make sense. So if it's
Can
a
you give an
whipping
example of
sound,
that?
it's probably, yeah. So this is an example. So if it was a whipping sound or a scratching sound, it's probably not a whip that I'm using to make that sound. I'm probably using something else. If I am trying to make a sound like writing on paper, I mean, this is what that sounds like, which is nothing. It doesn't sound like anything. So to actually make that sound, I usually use something that's quite scratchy, that's quite blunt, and it will be a separate sound. It's added over the top. I think people think it's very easy to make ASMR and just crinkle a load of crisp packets. To make sounds that feel nice, it's not that easy. You have to really think about it.
So to make sounds that feel nice. That so one of the things that I have a friend who's is a vocal artist as well, and she said one of the things that she tried to recreate was the sound of a cock sliding into a wet vagina. And how do you mic that? And because like you could really do it and try to mic it, but like what else would you use? So internet, get back to me on that one. What else would you use to create that sound? Okay, let's talk about storytelling.
Lots of olive oil. Sorry?
Olive oil. Oh, yeah, olive. All right, let's talk about the creating these tales, right? I love telling stories, and I could tell it's like from all the content you create, you genuinely love this. You're a creative person. You have a fire in you, which is beautiful. What is your favorite tale that you produce that really captures your voice as a storyteller?
Okay. There is one that really stands out to me. It's probably because it's very personal to me. It was one of my stories and not something that was requested. So when I was a younger woman, I used to box quite a lot, and I actually went into being a boxing instructor for about 12 years. So there is a story on my Patreon called The Boxer. And I'm not going to lie, there may be some elements of truth in that story. There's definitely some elements of reality in some of my descriptions. The smell of the ring floor, the dust, the dirt, the testosterone, the everything. There's a lot in that. So The Boxer, I think, is probably one of my favorite audio stories that I've ever created.
That's beautiful. Okay. MedFet magic, nurse and dental vibes. For listeners dipping their toes into or the glove into MedFet play.
Yeah.
All right. What's a friendly tip for someone who doesn't know anything about MedFet play but does have that obsession, has that fascination for what's a beginner friendly tip?
Okay. This is an easy one for me. So my first tip would be just go a little bit slower, because every single sub I have that comes to me tells me they want me to be as evil and as terrible and as cause as much pain as possible straight away. Every time I'm thinking, no, you don't. You absolutely don't. You think you do, but you absolutely don't. We're going to need to build up to this a little bit. So I guess my best advice would be just take it a little bit slower. Just feel around some of the sensory things and have a think on it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, it's like, butt sex or spinach. You have to ease into it. You get used to
Ease into it. Ease into it.
it.
I'm gonna be done. You know what makes me laugh? Would you go to a surgeon and literally be like, oh, on this surgery, can you make it the deepest and the hardest surgery you're going to give me? Like, you wouldn't, would you? Nobody is going to do that. Why do you come to me and say,
Replace my
just
organ with
go
something
as
else.
heavy as you can?
Yeah.
I
Use a
love it.
chainsaw instead of a scalpel.
Yes, honestly, I'm telling you, you wouldn't believe what I get asked. Saws, I get asked for all the time. Will you bring a saw to our session?
Do
Probably
you get a
not.
lot of
I mean, I may.
castration fetish stuff?
Castration is one of my biggest fetishes.
How do you approach when someone says, Alex Keeper, I don't want to keep my balls? What do you tell them? And how do you approach
So I
this
tell them.
scenario?
Well, I usually tell them that if they don't want to keep their balls, they're probably not worthy of them anyway. So, it's
Ah!
fine. I think they'll probably lead a happier life in servitude to me without them. That's what I usually tell them.
Oh, that's good. All right, so wait, I got a question here. What are some medical fetish scenarios that you always wanted to explore or expand on that you haven't yet?
Oh, now that is an interesting one. That's a challenging one. So, medical scenarios that I would like to explore more. Hmm. I mean, I know there's so many I've explored. It's going to be difficult to find one I haven't done. I don't know. I do quite a lot of kidnapping role play, and I also
Hmm.
do a lot of medical. I'd rather like to combine those two a little bit. I feel like for me, that would be a lot of fun. I love that
You,
idea.
okay. Have you ever heard of the movie The Skin I Am In?
I've heard of it,
It's
yeah.
Antonio Banderas. Check this out. Antonio Banderas is a surgeon, right? And he kidnaps a young man who actually was responsible for like a drunk driving accident that killed his daughter, that killed the doctor's daughter, right? And he kidnaps this young man and turns him into a woman, basically.
Yep.
And it's a wild movie. Yeah, it's the skin on it. I live in. Excellent movie. Okay.
Amazing movie.
Now, from OnlyFans, you have videos, you have the production site, you turned your kinks into this thriving business. You're making some beautiful, wild, unique. Thank you for being unique content. What challenges do you face as an adult in the adult content world?
Yeah, so that is a really good question, and I'm sure that every content creator out there comes up against very similar things. Now, obviously, in this world, we need to promote. You touched on it earlier. Nobody is going to promote us. We have to promote our own businesses, and doing that in a safe and respectful way for the majority of public, because not everybody wants to take this in a kink way. There are a lot, obviously I have ASMR channels where people are listening purely for the triggers. They just want to go to sleep. They just want me to bore them to death. Let's be real. So there is that. But so of course, one of the challenges is always, how do I promote what I do without it ringing alarm bells and crossing the lines of something that shouldn't be out there, because these are very adult consensual things that we're talking about. So you do need to be in a private setting for that, i.e. OnlyFans or a website. You need to be there. I think like Instagram is very strict, but I feel like I've cracked the code there. As long as I'm just doing lots of glove love content and it's not really overtly sexual, I think that's the way to go. I also think for any other creators, create a brand. Me personally, I think Alex Keeper is a brand. Like, I'm a brand.
Oh, without
I'm
that.
not just because it's not just about an OnlyFans page. I don't run an OnlyFans page. I run an umbrella of lovely content that runs alongside each other. So there's your YouTube, which maybe is at the top, and that's completely clean and it's lovely. And then you can come down and you can have audio stories that you can subscribe to and listen to at night. But then if you wanted to, if you're interested in me, you can also join those OnlyFans pages, and then you've got access to tons of content. I mean, I'm gonna use the moment to plug a little bit here, but I don't, just like with everything I do, I don't run pages that just have pretty pictures of me on them. I'm not about this. If you're coming to me, you are going to get value, you are going to get fun, you are going to get things that you're interested in. So there is always long length stuff behind the scenes, just sometimes what I'm up to, what am I doing that day. You're going to get everything, as well as all of the traditional content that you'd expect to find on a slightly more spicy site. But yeah, and of course, a lot of the videos you see here on ASMR, I have alternative extended versions that you would find on these other pages.
What piece of advice would you give to aspiring kink creators, people who want to make NSR videos or medical fetish videos? What advice would you give them?
I would give the advice, define your boundaries before you define anything else. Define your own boundaries. Decide who you are. I feel really blessed. I am a mature woman, and coming into this industry from a mature standpoint gave me a gift, which was to know my boundaries before I went anywhere. I never crossed them. I found in the very beginning, I thought that maybe if I said no to doing things, people might be upset with me. But I realized very quickly, nobody gets upset. Everyone just respects where you are. And as long as you're clear in your boundaries, it makes for a lovely relationship with everybody. Transparency, I guess.
Yeah, be clear on your boundaries. It's very good advice that I think people don't realize sometimes how good it is.
No, and I learned
You're
to, and
talking
often,
about
yeah,
you're talking about
creatives learn it
saying
too late
no.
down the line, right? Sorry. Go on,
Yeah,
Nicholas, please talk.
I said you were talking about saying no. I mean, eh, with someone who's as beautiful and as sexy, as intelligent you are, I'm sure you get not only gooners, but you get content creators that like Hey, can we do a video of this? Can you be on Your Kinky Friends?
Yeah.
Or can you be, you know, can you you know, do anything? Some of the collaborations are amazing. I've collaborated with magnificent people because of this show. Any surprising fan interactions or collaborations that you had?
Well, the most recent one, the one I explained to you, you are right. I don't personally, I don't collab very often. That is a personal choice. I get asked all the time, but I create a very, very niche style of work, and I'm very proud of it. And for that reason alone, I get a lot of younger content creators who I'm trying to pick my wording correctly here, who are more in the corn side of it, shall we say, and that's not necessarily where my field is. My field is kink, and it's fantasy, and it's creating something very personal. So I mostly say no. That the collaboration that I'm doing recently, I actually approached the director and said, I just love what I've seen. Would you ever collab with me? And it was amazing. Their response was incredible. I was blown away. So yeah, there you go.
We got some fan questions.
Tell me.
Okay, here we go. Michael Brzezinski, 1317. Hi guys. If I may ask, Alex, have you ever sacked a guy in the nuts? And when sacking a guy in the nutsack, do you prefer boots, heels, electric play, or using your fists?
Oh, okay. Boots are my favorite, if I'm honest, because that's another one of my personal kinks. I am gloves
Okay.
and boots, lady. I've got hundreds. So heeled boots are one of my favorite.
Okay. Stan Blatt, my love for medical play comes from going to the hospital at a young age and a lot of cartoons. So he asks, have you ever used blood pressure pump for breath play?
For breast play, so
For
no
breath.
is the answer to that. I've never used it for breast play. I have, however, used it for downstairs play, shall we say. I'm trying to keep it clean here. For downstairs play.
Yeah. All
It's great for
right.
that.
Mhm. He continues, during aftercare, do you use your medical persona? So do you
Yeah.
kind of switch your role back to Alex Keeper, or do you continue the aftercare in the medical persona?
No, I think I switched back to Alex Cooper. I was just thinking on that. That made me question myself. I was thinking, do I? No, I think I switched back to Alex Cooper.
And here's the Stan question. This is the question he always asks. And we named it the Stan question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? And how would you use it in your kinky life?
Oh, if I could have any superpower, it's so easy. I would be able to know immediately what makes my subs kink, what makes them tick, what gives them that heightened moment of joy, so that I would be able to intuitively work that into their session to make sure it was beautiful.
You could like snap your fingers and they're like, oh.
Yeah. I would just know it. It would be in my head. I could literally,
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
telepathy, that's what I'm talking. I would want to be able to read their mind and know exactly what they were really thinking. So not what they're telling me, what they were really thinking. So I could then work that in and just have them like putty in my fingers.
That's a good superpower. And
Yeah.
Mike Brzezinski says, are you a fan of electric play and CBT in terms of zapping someone in the nuts? Kind of
Yeah.
like in the movie Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I'm just checking something. Oh, that's saying that my power's starting to wane a little bit. Okay. Yes, I am, was the answer to that. Absolutely. Why not? I think it's part of my play. It's part of the best part of my job.
Okay. All right, rapid fire kink advice. We're going whimsical now. Shows we're halfway through the mark. So rapid fire kink advice. We're gonna start off slow, and then we're gonna, some obvious, but then we're gonna get into weird territory. You restrain someone, their arm goes numb. What do you do?
Release them immediately, obviously.
Okay.
Check in with them, make sure that we're good, make sure they're wiggling their fingers. Yeah, obvious.
Rapid fire kink advice. A sub shows up way too high. What do you do?
I have really strict rules on all of my sessions. You don't get high before my session. You won't need to get high. My session takes you everywhere. You don't need to.
Rapid fire kink advice. A sub met someone else online and then suddenly wants to give all of their money, their life savings, everything to them. What do you tell them?
Oh, if it's like life savings, I think I'd probably advise them to be mindful of what they're doing. As a general rule, I'm very much a believer, let it go and it'll come back to you if it's yours. So I'd be like, go for it. I know you'll be back.
Rapid fire kink advice. Sub just keeps on talking about politics over and over and over again. Politics you do not agree with. How do you address it?
Politics are banned from my sessions. That's it. Point blank. No politics ever.
All right.
Only my politics. I'm really mindful of something. I'm really mindful that my battery is looking like it's dropping so quickly. Now,
yes,
I may have to take out the microphone to make sure that we've got power. I'm hoping that the sound is going to continue. So I've got a cord here. Good job I had a cord waiting. Right, I'm just going to swap this over because I really don't want us to get cut off. Okay, so we are going with... Ooh, how am I going to do this? I'm literally thinking this is like 50 different changes now. Oh, okay, maybe we can use this. Let's try this. Okay, I'm going to just... Oh, no. Oh, crap.
In the meantime, everybody can go to yourkinkyfriends.com and get 15% off all inventory at lockedinlust.com. YKF. I highly recommend everybody check out the Crotch Rocket. Squirt in seconds. It's amazing. Yeah. Basically, it's a strap-on. You put it here, and the lock goes right here, and she can just play with it, and as she rides it over and over again. Alex Keeper, are you there? Maybe she's not there. Well, that was good. We could always come back for it. I hope she returns. People, please go to patreon.com/YKF and check out Alex's YouTube. It's pretty wild. It's really great. Support everybody. Support the show. Support Kink helps kink people. Patreon.com/YKF. And I don't know if she's going to return. So in that case, we could always put out another show afterwards, and or a second parter. Totally doable. But yeah, so hopefully that will be the case. In the meantime, be cool, be kind. Hello.
Okay, are we back? Can you hear me?
Yes, we're back. Yeah. This is great. So there's all these. I almost ended the show. Totally. I had the thing. So this is awesome. So there be people like, forget it, and they left. But there are a whole bunch of people who are still here. Right on. See?
Oh, thank heaven.
You're part of something special.
Okay. Okay, my goodness, that was terrifying. I am so sorry.
No worries.
Okay,
it's all good.
We're back.
All right, we didn't. All right. So let's Let's keep it going. The magic
Okay.
wand of misconception.
Yep.
All right, Alex. You came across a wizard. You came across a dominatrix wizard, and she has a magic wand. She gives it to you. It's the magic wand of misconception. Now, Dr. Alex Caper, you could wave the wand and get one misconception of all sex work, all female domination, any kind of kink. One misconception is gone. You wave that magic wand. What is that misconception that is gone?
Yeah, I guess it's really simple. It's the misconception that we're all really deviant, unpleasant people. I mean, we're absolutely not. Huh, gotcha.
That's true.
Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why there is a conception that, you know, we're, I don't know, unkind people in some way, or that especially if you're a dominant woman or a dominatrix, that, you know, you're there to just cause pain, and that pain is unpleasant. That's the ridiculous part. It's like, it's a pain that's desired. It's a pain that's controlled. It's a beautiful pain. So that would be my misconception I'd like to have fixed.
AI and kink.
Oh, ugh! Did you just hear me? Did you hear me go? Ugh.
Yes, I did. How are you evolving with it?
Not very well. No, do you know something? I've really thrown this backwards and forwards. So I have made a conscious decision. I use AI now to, maybe in some of my videos, it's really helpful for storytelling. If you want to just add in a little clip of something which can elaborate on your story and make it feel more immersive, I use it for that. I don't use it for anything else. I have a big thing that I think people want to know me. I hope. They don't want to know a pretty picture of me. They don't want to know a picture where I've been filtered to, you know, unrecognizable levels. I am very proud of the fact that I am a mature woman who has, you know, stretch marks and lumps and bumps and, you know, all of the normal things. And I really embrace it. And I thought long and hard on this. And I have made a conscious decision to not use AI to edit my work. That's my place. I think I'm probably going to get left behind, or it's going to have the opposite effect and it will be really appreciated. But my take on it is I would like to not use AI as much as I can.
If you think about it, a lot of kink comes from, well, these days, especially with the internet, comes from homemade stuff, personal experiences that people have in videos, lo-fi, kind of punk rock style videos of, you know, not everything works out. The sound is as best as it can be. The production design is as best as it can be. You know what I mean? And that's that energy, that imagination that comes from it, I thought is incredibly inspiring. Okay, let's play a game. Let's play a game, Alex. This is Would You Rather. This really tells the world as a person. So you got to choose one or the other, Alex. You can't choose both.
Uh-oh.
One.
Oh, no.
Would
Okay.
you rather?
Okay.
All right. Just starting a session. Would you rather? It has to be either psychological or all physical. All physical or all psychological. What would you rather do?
Psychological.
Psychological. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather? Would you rather? Would you rather experiment with a new kink or just do the standards?
That's a tough one, because knowing what always makes you get off is a lovely thing. I'll probably just knowing what gets me off. I know. So yeah, stay with the old one. That's probably boring, but yeah, stay with my old kinks.
I know, I get where you're coming from though, because in the medical fetish, just like the sissification fetish, it's elaborate. So the standards it doesn't never really kind of gets boring because it's so elaborate. There's so much into it and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Like it never gets boring, honestly.
Would you rather have a detailed plan methodically planned session or a spontaneous session that just kind of happens?
Always detailed plan, always.
Mm. And that really tracks with the whole medical fetish, because in the medical fetish, you need
Yeah,
a plan. And that's part of the
absolutely.
sexiness of
You
it, is
cannot wing it.
preparation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no winging it in one of these sessions.
All right. Would you rather? One or the other? You can't do both. Sensory deprivation, that's blindfolds, earplugs, sensory
Yeah,
deprivation, deprived of sensory, or sensory overload, feathers, ice, music, hot wax, food, everything else.
sensory deprivation.
Sensory deprivation. I understand that too. As someone who loves medical fetish as well, I totally understand that. Just being
Yeah. For the field that
you
I'm in, it's a deeper sense. The psychological play with that is much deeper than overload, I think.
now you are in the healing care field. If you think about it, you are right. The medical fetish. So a lot of being healthy is making sure you're healthy. I get up every morning. I have a certain ritual. I don't want to get into it, but a lot of it deals with no phones, no TV, no phones, no phones, no phones, water movement, no phones. A lot of things like yoga, a lot of mental self-affirmation, stuff like that. Alex, you're beautiful. You have that energy, the fire, the creativity. You are doing magnificent things in the kink community. That means you got it going on. You're doing something right inside. What are your self-care rituals? What do you do every day that
Yeah, so I have two things I do every day that I do think ground me and keep me healthy. So one of them is, I wish I had the luxury of not looking at my phone the moment I wake up, but unfortunately that is part of my business, and there are people that will be waiting for me to, give them their morning messages. So that's fine, that's okay. But once I've done that, and I usually do that from bed, once I get up, I go outside, I stand with no shoes on in my garden, and I just take in the air. And I do that whether it is 0 degrees outside or whether it's 100 degrees. It's something I need to do. I just stand there quietly, I breathe, I listen to the birds. I live out in the fields, so it's a really lovely place to be. And I walk every day. And anyone who's on my page knows it, because I'm always like, oh, look how beautiful it is where I'm walking today. And then I'm flashing them at the same time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Yeah, so
no
I
one
walk
does
every
that in
day in
my
the field.
neighborhood.
You're in the wrong neighborhood. That's what
I
happens.
know.
I walk every day. I walk in the fields. I have really beautiful open fields, and I walk every day. And I take a coffee with me sometimes, and it's my place. It's my thinking place, also my creative place. I get some of my best ideas on that walk.
Okay, we got the whimsical questions. Impact play.
Okay.
There's floggers, there's canes, there's whips, there's riding crops. I love them all. They're all wonderful. Do you have a personal favorite?
I do have a personal favorite. Like yourself, I like all of them, but I'm very old school. I love a paddle. There's
Oh
something about
yeah.
a paddle. Oh, there's something about a paddle that not only feels nice, but the warming of the skin, everything. I love everything about a good paddle. And they come and they're so pretty. You can get really pretty ones. I've got a gorgeous one with like metal studs with a heart cut out of the center of it. It's so pretty.
Chastity. Do you have anybody in chastity right now?
I have a few people in chastity right now.
Plastic, silicone, or metal?
I have one plastic and a few in metal, actually. Metal is my preferred one. I think that I know that plastic is a little bit warmer, but I quite like the fact that the metal gets cold.
Yes, there's a permanence
Or
to
warms
it
to the
too.
body. Either or warms with
There's
the body.
there's also a permanent symbolism of that's not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah,
can't
I
like this
agree. I
great.
absolutely agree. To me, it's a little bit like, yeah, you're in plastic. It's a baby level for me. I'm like, no, I want you in something you can't get out of.
Yes, and you can get 15% off all chastity, all inventory at lockedinlust.com with offer code Y. Sadism. Alex, when was the last time you were impressed by sadism? Either yours or someone else's.
Actually, not mine. Something happened with a friend recently. I was at lunch with a friend recently, and she has a pet of some sort, and he was pestering her, and she likes to call him her good egg. And he was annoying her so much. He said, "Look, just go and get 5 eggs and just crack them on your head." And he very kindly did. And he just sat there with egg on his face for just hours. I was very impressed by this. Very impressed. Very good boy. That's what I'm going to say. He's a good egg.
And if this was America, the price of eggs, that's like torture for some people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me ask you about sissification. I personally, I love the sissification narrative. I'm wearing garter belts and stockings under my suit right now.
Oh, I love that.
I think to kind of change the narrative. I think sissification, even the word doesn't necessarily fit what a lot of people like about feminization,
And imagine it's
cross-dressing,
big.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So throughout the years, shout out to Mr. Shari from District Manor. She's trying to kind of change the narrative a little bit, and so am I. It doesn't always have to be about humiliation. It doesn't always have to be about degradation. A lot of the sissies out there, a lot of the cross-dressers love and respect women, and they, the whole degradation, humiliation thing kind of, goes against that. So throughout the years, how has sissification, how has your attitude towards the whole narrative, the sissification narrative, the forced feminization narrative, how has that changed?
That's a really interesting question. I'm happy you asked this one. Okay, so absolutely, it's changed dramatically from a time when I would say possibly men were dressing in women's clothing, but it wasn't feminine and it wasn't attractive. It was just wearing a female's clothing on a masculine body, kind of looking like rugby players on a stag do out. And that's not attractive. I don't think that's attractive. And I think that people are learning, as with most of our kinks we've talked about, that sissification, as much as anything else, is so sensory. It's all about the sensory. It's about the way fabric feels and the way fabric falls. And it can as we said with the gloves, it can change the way you move physically, if it's done really well. So I love sissification, by the way. I love a good sissy. And when I think of sissies, and I think of many of my subs personally, they're getting quite modern. Can I just say, a lot of my subs, they're so pretty. Shout out to some of my subs, actually. You're so pretty, and you pick just the most gorgeous outfits. And I think we're going against that idea of trashy. Maybe that's what's happening, is we're going away from this sort of trashy, tarty look that somehow projects that you're a woman now, which I'm not sure that does. Into lots of my subs wear really beautiful boots, thigh highs, and it's just really gorgeous. And I hope it's okay. I just wanted to point out, I'm starting something in the new year. So I'm actually starting a sissy club, and this is really important because it leans into what you were saying. I'm creating a sissy club for people who are local or want to visit, however you want to say it. And it's not just about degradation. That's the whole point. I want this to be beautiful experiences in the feminine. So maybe we're going to do PJ parties together, pink PJ parties, and you're going to come along, and we're going to do hair and makeup, and we're going to do all of those beautiful things, and we're going to do fashion shows together, and not trashy fashion. I want you looking beautiful, on point. Maybe we're going to have tea parties. This is going to be a regular thing that I'm creating, and hopefully a really nice community for many of my sissies, and there will be some sissy training in there, but it's not all going to be about, right, everyone bent over just spanking you, you're a terrible human being, that look at how bad you are for being like this. Quite the opposite. Look how good you are for embracing what feels really lovely on you. So yeah, so I just sort of put that out there. That's something coming new in the new year. You can look out for it. It's not all up and running yet, so I can't give you all the details, but it is coming
I
in the
like
new
that
year.
tagline. I like that tag. Look how good you look for embracing. What was it? Embracing the what in you?
Embracing the love in you, the good in you. Like, what do you love? You love
Yes,
feeling like
yes,
this.
that's
We're
it.
embracing it. We're embracing it. You know, the idea that you've got your stockings, your garter on underneath this, that is so sexy. And there are so many women that would find that sexy, and men, but we're conditioned not to admit it. We're conditioned to go, oh my God, that's so different. Yeah, it's different. Run your hands up his legs. Just take a little feel. You're gonna love it.
All right, as the world's changing, technology's changing, platforms. What platforms are giving you the best feedback these days?
Oh,
Pet life,
interesting.
no one's on Friendster and MySpace and stuff like that. It's always changing.
Mm,
There's always going to be a
it
new one,
is. It is
you
always
know?
changing. I personally, YouTube, actually, it has to be YouTube. YouTube is possibly 85% of my subscribers come through one form or another from YouTube. FetLife, I struggle with personally, mainly because this is a professional standpoint for me. And I think it's difficult if you're doing this professionally. I have just joined up to a lovely dating site, actually. It's designed for Dom subs, which is beautiful. It's called Chirp. I think that's a really interesting platform. I'm still exploring on there, so I won't say too much now. I don't know if I advocate it yet, but it's got a really good concept. It's for professionals as well as lifestyle kinks, and it's out there and you can just put exactly what you're looking for, unlike other websites where, I mean, I don't do it because I'm a very transparent person, but I know there are lots of subs that use dating websites and just are kind of reeling people in and then explaining that they're doms. I'm not all about that. I'm all about, you come to me because I was what you were
Thank you.
looking for.
Thank you
Yeah.
for that. I truly appreciate that. But let's talk about that lifestyle, BDSM lifestyle. Without giving too
Yeah.
much away, are you currently living in a BDSM lifestyle in your private life, and what's the dynamic?
In my personal private life,
Yeah.
you are gonna laugh. So currently I am single through choice, and predominantly because I have a huge amount of subs that require an intense amount of attention, and I physically don't have it to give to a personal relationship and a professional relationship. I take it really seriously. So maybe at some stage I will lessen my load of subs if I felt that I wanted more personally.
Mm.
But yeah, currently I get more than enough from my
It, it,
professional relationships.
it, that is not that uncommon. So, all right, we're going to move it along here. Rapid fire recommendations. They don't have to be kink related, right? And
Okay.
they don't have to be the be all end all of who you are either. They're just, yeah, this is cool. I think you'd like this. Okay.
Okay.
Rapid fire recommendations. Recommend a film.
Recommend a film. Um, The Secretary, one of my favorite
Yes.
movies of all time. Oh, I love
Maggie
it.
Gyllenhaal and
I
James
watched it
Spader.
again recently. I love it.
Recommend a book.
Oh, I'm reading something at the moment, The Psychology of Money. That's a really
Oh,
interesting book. Yeah, it's a really interesting book. It's really interesting around, why do we want money? What purpose will it bring us? How much is enough? I love it. It's very interesting. So I'm reading that at the moment.
I definitely want to check that out. Without a doubt. All right. We'll recommend a meal.
My favorite meal in the world: steak, egg, and chips.
All right. This is a whimsical show. We're going to get whimsical. This is the word
Okay.
association game. I'm going to say a kink
Oh,
or
I love this
fetish and say
game.
the first thing that comes into your mind. And
Yep.
Alex,
Okay,
there's
go.
no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer at all. So if I say chastity, you could say lock. If I say chastity, you could say steak. You know, there's no wrong answer. Okay.
This is one
And
of my
then
favorite games, by the way.
we have the jar. I don't know what's in this jar. So Tango
Okay.
Blue, I love you. And then Mistress Natasha resurrected the jar. The little pieces of paper. I don't know what I'm pulling out. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So we're in this together. All right. Let's see
Okay.
if anyone in the chat added anything. No, not yet. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Chastity.
Metal.
Face slapping.
Hands.
Fireplay.
Heat.
Wax play.
Skin.
French maid outfits.
Lace.
Human furniture.
Footstool.
Latex.
I was trying to think of the spray. Latex. Oh, gloves. What's wrong with me?
The daddy baby girl bag.
Collar.
Sploshing.
Warm.
Dogging.
Best
Public
ever.
dogging.
That's 2 words. That's 2 words.
That's, you know, that fits. I said word or phrase. That totally fits. Totally fits.
Okay, fine.
All right, we're going into the jar.
Okay.
Ooh, whipping.
Whipping. Okay. Riding crop.
Ball busting.
Heels. My heels, definitely.
Humiliation.
Oh, humiliation. I love humiliation. Humiliation. Oh, was I allowed to do? Was that the phrase? I love humiliation. Sorry, that wasn't the answer.
That counts. But
Okay.
pagan sex.
Pagan sex. Oh, beautiful long capes.
Beautiful,
Velvet
yeah.
long capes.
That's good. Oh, that's good. All right. Ooh, what's this one? There's nothing on this one. Oh, spitting.
Spitting. Spitting. Open mouth.
Okay. Piss.
Toilets.
And finally, we have reached the end. Stat.
Oh, what was the last one?
Stat.
Oh, I thought that's what you said. Toilet chair.
Toilet chair. Toilet chair. Okay. All right. So the kink community is huge. Times are changing. There's a paradigm shift going on right now in the zeitgeist of things. In what ways can kinky people unite and help each other out?
So I went to a really beautiful event recently, and this is a big shout out to Mistress Sophie as well, as she came along. Bless her, she was my date for the evening. I keep saying this, she doesn't know she was my date, but she was my date for the evening. So we went to the Femdom Gala Ball in London.
Oh yes, I
and
saw
again,
pictures. That looks
yeah,
beautiful.
and that was run by the amazing Madame Caramel. So again, thank you to Madame Caramel for doing such an incredible job. I think that was one of the best networking events I've been to. It brought such a fantastic community of DOMs together, DOMs and their subs, which was lovely. Subs were invited along, left at the side of the walls, obviously. That was beautiful, and it was such a celebration of everything kink and everything dom. It was beautiful. So that I think's really, really lovely. I think there are see, I'm such a lone wolf, honestly. I don't really mix too much in the groups on Twitter and things like that. I just find they can be a bit toxic. But I guess you just have to find your people. The dungeon that I work at regularly, there is a lovely group of beautiful doms that work there, and we get together and have lunch sometimes and network a bit. So I think that's really important.
Mm. And look, Alex, not everybody has that voice. You have a magnificent voice. Oh my God, it's so hypnotizing. That's why you're doing what you do. You're also beautiful. You're talented. You have this magnificent imagination. Um, but the kink community is huge, and everybody needs to get paid to kind of keep the money in the community. So, what advice would you give to people? How can kinky people make money?
Okay. So this is an interesting question. And it comes back to what we spoke about earlier. You need to be a brand. You can't just have one thing that you're good at. There are billions and billions of beautiful, sexy women and men out there that are, you know, dom, subs, all of the above. You need to find what you're good at, and you need to find what you love. I mean, it's the only way to do it. They do say if you get paid to do what you love, you've never worked a day in your life. And it is so true, because I don't feel like I work. I just feel like I'm incredibly blessed to wake up every day and do something I just love so much. So that's my advice. Don't do it if you don't love it. Don't do it if you don't care about it. If you love it, do it and get paid to do something you love. That's it. It's really simple. It's a simple equation. Whatever you love and you're good at, just go get paid to do it. So if you're good at being dominant, be dominant. If you're good at being submissive, be submissive. If you're good at being tender, be tender. I don't have to, like, I felt it was a while for me to realize that I could embrace that. As a young woman, I've always been sexy, and I struggled with how the perception of a sexy young woman was. It's much easier as a mature woman because I totally embrace it, and it's my gift now.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Stan has a question.
Ask me, Stan.
Yes. Stan says, do you allow sissies to dress up as nurses and assist you in other sessions?
Oh, absolutely. I love an assistant. There's nothing better than an assistant.
All right. Finally, we're wrapping it up. What advice would you give to yourself that you wish you'd learned sooner?
Oh, probably what we just spoke about. I would give myself the advice that it is not a shameful thing to be a sensual, sexy woman. It's actually beautiful, and it's a gift. I think I spent a huge part of my life feeling quite guilty, feeling that I intimidated people in crowds, I intimidated other women. I found myself like, what's the right word for it? Not being myself, and trying not to be too sexy, to not upset anybody else. And now I just embrace every moment of it.
Yes. Hearing you say that and seeing everything you do, I'm so thankful that you came on this show to inspire all of us. All of us. Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you for having me
we're
here.
We're all looking for something in life.
We are. We're all looking for something.
Where do you want your kinky path to take you next?
I just want this path that I'm on, everything that I do right now, to get bigger and just, I mean, I'd love a production team. I'm not going to lie. I'd love a production team to take some of the weight off me so that I could actually stick more to the creative side of it. As we said, there's so much behind the scenes, and it's the boring stuff that nobody gets to see. And I'd love to have less of that on me and more creativity. But yeah, I'd love, you know, for my sissy camp to kind of take off and create something new. just continue on this path. I love everything that I do, and I'm thankful to everybody, including you, for having me on today. Thank you. That was awfully kind of you.
Well, thank you to Mr. Sophie for setting this whole thing up. Thank you, Mr.
100%.
Sophie. Mr. Sophie has
100%.
been essential to keeping YKF alive. She truly has. Yeah, I love Mr. Sophie, I really do. So we're gonna wrap it up. So please, final, complete this sentence. Life is
like a box of chocolates, honestly. Life is like a box of chocolates. It really is. Oh, no. Life is like jam on toast. You cannot spread it without getting a little happiness on you.
That's a great line. I think that's a very good line. Oh, Alex Keeper, how can people get in touch with you? How can people support you? How can people give you money, especially to produce other things? Yeah, please take this time to promote everything and anything you want to promote.
Thank you so much. So yeah, absolutely. So if you would love to support me, or perhaps you would quite like to gift me something that you'd love to have a custom made in. So obviously pantyhose, gloves, boots, those are my things. Those are the things I love. So you can use my throne wish list for that. You can also come on to my OnlyFans. Why not come and subscribe and just enjoy the fun all month? There is obviously PPV on there, but you don't need to buy anything. You can just come and enjoy all of the wonderful entertainment that goes on all month. And of course, you have my website, and on there you can find everything from in-person sessions to custom videos to dom girlfriend experiences, which is something that I offer that I don't very often see. I offer an online service where for the week I will become your dom girlfriend, and you can enjoy all the pleasures and luxuries of tasks and games and wake up messages and all sorts of things, just like having a real girlfriend, except this one's very dominant. So there you go.
Yes. And everybody, please support the show. Go to yourkinkyfriends.com. We need money, so please go to Cash App, YKF, all the uppercase YKF, lowercase Tanic. We get 15% off all inventory at lockedinlust.com with offer code YKF. Of course, we got the Patreon, patreon.com/YKF. But reading is fundamental, people. And now, do you ever play the English teacher role? Yeah, play the English teacher role sometime. Try that. Please
Yeah, I
read
do.
a book, people. You like a love story? This is a true love story. It's filled with hard drugs, kinky sex, and an endless amount of music references. It's a snapshot of New York City in the 90s. Coolest way to kill yourself. And take your broken heart, turn it into art. In the words of Carrie Fisher. I wrote a book called Your Kinky Friends, and that's what started this whole thing. To promote the book, I started interviewing people for some authenticity. So this is a true story about basically coming off a heartbreak and dealing with grief and loss, the death of a dog, and how to move on. Inspiration to move on. It is going to be a great week, and please support Roar out in Philly. There's a rape crisis clinic out there that is losing funding. We need funding. We're going to have an episode all about that. Some more details. But till then, help a kinky person out. Yes, it's going to be a great week, everybody. Be cool, be kind, keep an open mind.